Part 1. The Stadium Whisper. The sun hadn't even risen yet over Arrowhead Stadium, but the first whispers were already racing across Twitter like wildfire. Taylor Swift cancels her Tokyo show? What's going on with the Eras tour? Travis Kelce spotted buying ring-shaped balloons at 2 a.m.? At first, fans assumed it was a publicity stunt, another Easter egg from the Queen of Clues herself. Taylor had been known to send her followers into overdrive with a single Instagram caption. But this was bigger. Global news outlets were picking it up by the hour. In a hastily released statement from her management, one line stood out like a sore thumb. Due to unforeseen personal developments, Taylor Swift will be taking a temporary leave from the Eras tour. More information to follow. Within 20 minutes, #SwiftKelsey wedding was trending in 37 countries. 3 weeks earlier, Taylor Swift was sitting cross-legged in a sunlit corner of her Nashville home, guitar in her lap, a new melody haunting her fingers. It was a song she wasn't sure she wanted anyone to hear, not her fans, not her producers, and definitely not Travis Kelce. The chorus was simple but brutally honest. I knew you'd catch me when I fell / but I didn't think you'd want me still / after all the gold and glitter fades / would you stay if the music stayed? Because the truth was, she'd been falling hard. Faster than she ever had. And Travis, he wasn't like the others. They met at the height of their respective careers, she, an unstoppable musical force conquering the globe with a historic tour. He, a Super Bowl champion, face of the Kansas City Chiefs, adored both on the field and off. But love had a funny way of rewriting scripts. What started as casual flirtation, an NFL tight end jokingly admitting he tried to give his number to Taylor via a friendship bracelet, had evolved into something real. Real enough to keep her grounded between stadiums. Real enough to consider a future beyond the microphone. And real enough to make her consider the unthinkable, pausing the biggest tour of her life. Let's do it, Travis said, one night after a Chiefs home game, as they sat in his truck outside a quiet diner. Let's get married. Taylor blinked at him, mascara smudged slightly from the wind, her fingers tangled with his. Are you serious? He nodded. I've never been more sure of anything. I know it's crazy, but we don't need more time to know. Not when we both already know. And she did. Somewhere deep inside, she knew. But she also knew the cost. A sudden wedding meant disruption. Fans would feel betrayed. Venues would be in chaos. Contracts would go up in flames. There would be headlines. Was she pregnant? Had she lost her mind? Had Travis cast a spell, and it would all overshadow what should have been the happiest moment of her life. Unless she leaned into the chaos and owned the narrative before the media could twist it. We do it our way, she whispered. Our stage. Our rules. The plan was simple. The execution? Anything but. They would marry at Arrowhead Stadium, the place Travis called home. The ceremony would be secret, guests handpicked and sworn to silence. No media. No fans. Just love, turf, and a few thousand rose petals dropped by drones. Taylor even joked about making it into a music video later. But the secret wouldn't hold. On April 19th, an anonymous Reddit user, later traced to a florist assistant in Kansas City, leaked a blurry photo of a white dress bag with the initials TS/KC embroidered on it. Then came the dominoes. A custom Valentino dress flown in under a fake name. Swift's backup dancers all suddenly granted personal days. Travis spotted at Tiffany & Company browsing rare-cut engagement diamonds. The internet exploded. Meanwhile, in the shadows of this romance, something darker began to stir. As Swifties prepared fan theories and wedding-themed playlists, a cryptic Instagram account began posting images that seemed intimately connected to Taylor's past. A piano bench in Paris. A black scarf. A Polaroid of a cabin in upstate New York. And a message. You don't marry a storyline. You marry a heart. I still have yours. At first, no one paid attention. But those who did recognized something eerie. The posts weren't just random, they mirrored lyrics. Deep cuts from old albums. Songs tied to one name. Joe. A vibrant underwater scene showing Philippe, a sleek bottlenose dolphin with bright, curious eyes, playfully swimming through a coral reef. This image depicts Philippe before his accident, carefree and joyful in his ocean home. Philippe swimming alongside his pod of dolphin friends, distinguished by his slightly darker dorsal coloration. The image shows Philippe's social nature as he communicates with other dolphins through bubbles and clicks. A close-up of Philippe's face showing his intelligent eyes and permanent smile as he investigates a colorful school of fish. This is Philippe the dolphin in his element, curious and adventurous. Philippe leaping gracefully above ocean waves at sunset, his body silhouetted against the orange sky. This picture captures Philippe's freedom and athleticism before his life-changing encounter. A tense scene showing Philippe the dolphin swimming too close to a hidden fishing net trap camouflaged among seaweed. The danger is imminent, but Philippe doesn't notice it yet. Philippe becoming entangled in the fishing net trap, his expression showing distress as he realizes he's caught. The net wraps around his upper fin as he struggles to break free. Philippe desperately trying to escape the trap, straining against the ropes that cut into his upper fin. Other sea creatures watch helplessly from a distance. A powerful moment showing Philippe summoning all his strength to tear through the fishing net, his determination evident despite his injury. This is the miraculous escape that defines his story. Philippe swimming away from the trap, now with a visible wound on his upper fin, trailing a small cloud of blood in the water. His face shows both pain and relief. A tender scene showing Philippe being comforted by an older dolphin from his pod who tends to his injured fin. Philippe the dolphin looks exhausted but alive. A close-up of Philippe's healing fin, now bearing a distinctive crescent-shaped scar that will become his identifying mark. The scar tissue is fresh and pink. Philippe resting near the surface, his breathing labored as he recovers from his ordeal. Gentle waves lap around him as the sun filters through the water. Philippe swimming tentatively, adapting to the slight change in his movement caused by his scarred fin. His determination shows as he practices maneuvering through kelp forests. Philippe watching from a distance as another dolphin swims dangerously close to where the trap had been. His expression shows newfound concern and vigilance. Philippe rushing to warn the other dolphin, using his body to block the path toward the dangerous area. This marks the beginning of Philippe's mission to protect others. Philippe leading a group of younger dolphins on a patrol around the trap area, showing them where dangers lurk. His scarred fin is now a badge of experience and wisdom. Philippe using echolocation to scan for hidden traps, depicted as sound waves emanating from his head and revealing a concealed net among rocks. His scar is now fully healed but prominently visible. Philippe alerting his pod to a new trap that has appeared in their territory. The dolphins gather around him, recognizing his authority on the matter. A dramatic scene showing Philippe physically pushing another dolphin away from swimming into a fishing net trap, saving them just in time. His scarred fin is clearly visible as he acts heroically. Philippe teaching younger dolphins how to recognize the subtle signs of hidden traps, pointing with his nose to nearly invisible fishing lines. His role as educator is evident. Philippe swimming through a narrow passage with his scarred fin brushing against rocky walls, demonstrating how to navigate dangerous areas safely. A heartbreaking moment as Philippe discovers a young dolphin already caught in a trap, struggling helplessly. Philippe's expression shows determination to help. Philippe circling the trapped dolphin, analyzing the situation and planning his rescue approach. His experience with his own entrapment guides his actions. Philippe tugging carefully at the net to create an opening for the trapped dolphin. His scarred fin gleams in the filtered sunlight as he works methodically. The trapped dolphin swimming free thanks to Philippe's help, with Philippe watching protectively nearby. The rescued dolphin looks at Philippe with gratitude. Philippe and the rescued dolphin swimming back to their pod together. Philippe's scarred fin is visible as he guides the younger dolphin to safety. Philippe being greeted as a hero by the pod, with the mother of the rescued dolphin showing particular gratitude. The other dolphins seem to bow slightly in respect. Philippe teaching a group of dolphins how to help others who might become trapped, demonstrating rescue techniques. His scarred fin serves as a reminder of what's at stake. Philippe leading a coordinated effort where multiple dolphins work together to dismantle an abandoned fishing net, preventing it from causing harm. His leadership is evident. Philippe encountering human divers who are removing traps from the ocean. He watches them cautiously from a distance, his scarred fin visible as he assesses their actions. Philippe gradually approaching the human conservationists, showing unusual trust as he recognizes their helpful intentions. His distinctive scarred fin helps them identify him. Philippe guiding the human divers to other areas where dangerous traps remain, seeming to understand their mission to clean the ocean. His intelligence shines through his actions. A touching scene where Philippe allows a marine biologist to photograph his scarred fin for identification and research purposes. The mutual trust between species is evident. Philippe appearing on a marine conservation poster, his scarred fin making him recognizable as the face of an anti-fishing trap campaign that humans have created. Philippe swimming through now safer waters with a new generation of dolphins, his scarred fin marking him as the wise elder of the group. Philippe investigating a new type of trap he hasn't seen before, approaching cautiously while signaling others to stay back. His experience makes him the perfect scout. Philippe successfully helping disarm the new trap by triggering it with a carefully dropped rock, showing problem-solving intelligence. His scarred fin is prominent as he works. Philippe being studied by marine researchers from a distance as they document his unusual helping behavior. Charts showing his rescue patterns appear alongside the image of the dolphin. Philippe teaching his own offspring about ocean dangers, passing down his knowledge to the next generation. His child swims close to his scarred fin, learning its significance. An inspirational final image showing Philippe leaping joyfully above the waves, his scarred fin catching the sunlight, symbolizing how his injury became his strength and defining purpose. Philippe the dolphin has transformed from victim to hero, his story an inspiration to all who know him. The day was warm in Kansas City, but Taylor Swift felt cold. She stood barefoot on the polished hardwood of Travis Kelce's guest bedroom, where sunlight filtered through gauzy curtains. In her hands, she held a printed screenshot of the latest Instagram post. The caption echoed in her mind like a song she never wanted to write. Not over. Not done. You know who you belong to. The photo showed a place she hadn't visited in years, a cabin in Big Sur where she and Joe Alwyn had once spent a week hiding from the world. The angle of the picture, the slight tilt of the camera, the cracked edge of the mirror in the corner, it wasn't just similar. It was identical. Whoever posted it had been there. Recently. Maybe even within the past week. She stared at the screen for what felt like hours before her phone buzzed in her hand. Jack Antonoff. Tay, you need to see this. I'm at the studio. Come down. The converted studio in Travis's basement was dim and filled with half-packed boxes of music gear. Jack sat cross-legged on a rug, his laptop open to an Instagram analysis tool. He pointed at the screen. Posts are coming from different IP addresses. That's why the trace keeps failing. But the captions, they're not random. Look. He pulled up 4 screenshots of the mysterious Instagram account's captions and highlighted words. Red, Invisible, Paris, New York, Midnight. Album titles. Track names. Places you wrote songs about, Joe. This isn't just someone stalking your life. This is someone who knows it. Taylor swallowed hard. It can't be him. He wouldn't. Jack didn't finish the thought. Instead, he clicked another folder and opened a grainy video. Security footage. It was from a small cafe in London. Joe was there, Jack said. With someone. Look, pause. He froze the frame. The woman sitting next to Joe wore a black hoodie with a Swift Tour badge on the zipper. Taylor leaned in closer. No way, she whispered. It was Brie Lindstrom, one of her ex-stylists, let go quietly a year ago after leaking tour photos to a tabloid. What the hell is she doing with Joe? Back in London. Joe Alwyn sat silently in a dark apartment. A guitar lay untouched beside him. Across the room, Brie typed feverishly at a laptop. You said this would get her attention, she muttered. You said she'd reach out. Joe rubbed his temples. She will. And then what? You think she's going to cancel her wedding and come crawling back to you? No, he said coldly. She won't crawl. But she'll remember what we were. And when it starts to fall apart, and it will, I'll be the one waiting. Brie scoffed. That's pathetic. Joe turned sharply. You're in this just as deep as I am. Don't get righteous now. He stood, staring at the wall, where an old framed photo of him and Taylor hung, cracked in one corner. She built a fairy tale and cast me out of it. I want her to feel that. Back in Kansas City. The night before the wedding, Taylor stood alone in the middle of the stadium. Arrowhead was empty, save for the gentle hum of generators prepping for the secret ceremony. The field lights glowed faintly, casting long shadows. She held her phone tightly, staring at Joe's name in her contacts. One touch, and she could call him. But what would she say? I'm sorry I moved on? Why are you doing this? Wasn't 6 years enough? Instead, she did what she always did when words failed. She opened her notes app and started writing lyrics. You built me a silence I learned to sing through / You left, and I grew / Now you're shouting from the shore / But I've already swam too far. She closed the app. No call. No message. Just closure. At 3 a.m., Taylor received an email from an anonymous account with the subject line. Love or contract? The email contained a PDF file, a 27-page document titled Public Engagement Proposal, Swift/Kelce Crossover Strategy with timestamps, talking points, and projected media milestones. Starting 6 months before Taylor and Travis went public. The document appeared to be a PR pitch from a high-level branding firm, dated 6 months prior to their first official sighting together. It was marked confidential for management only. One slide read, Target objective, Create authentic love narrative with athletic counterpart. Drive cross-demographic engagement. Leverage NFL audience. Elevate brand to Americana status. Her heart dropped. The firm's name was one she'd worked with before. A powerful one. The document was damning enough to make even the truest love feel orchestrated. She ran to find Travis. He was asleep on the couch, one arm hanging off the edge. She woke him with a whisper and handed him her phone. He read the document in silence. When he finally looked up, his voice was hoarse. "You think this is real?" She hesitated. "I don't know, but someone wants me to think it is." He tossed the phone onto the coffee table. "Do you think I'm part of it?" That stopped her. "No," she said. Then again, firmer. "No, I don't." He exhaled. "Then forget whoever's trying to manipulate us. We know what's real." He reached for her hand. "Let's get married." But the storm wasn't over. That morning, Travis's agent received a letter from a lawyer claiming to represent a concerned party with personal ties to Taylor Swift. The letter accused Travis of emotional coercion and brand manipulation, threatening legal action if the wedding proceeded. Attached were blurry audio clips, alleged recordings of Travis and his brother Jason Kelce, taken from a private bar conversation. In the clips, voices could be heard joking about selling wedding rights, and maybe we'll get a Netflix special too. The authenticity was unconfirmed. The timing was surgical. Travis was furious. "That's bullsh. Those clips are fake, stitched together." "I never said that." Taylor believed him. But the seed of doubt had been planted. And whoever was orchestrating this, Joe, Bree, someone else, they weren't finished yet. The wedding was set for 7 p.m. Arrowhead Stadium. One aisle. One chance. One very big question. Was this truly love? Or just another beautiful lie? The wind over Arrowhead Stadium carried the smell of summer grass and anticipation. Rows of folding chairs had been arranged on the field in elegant arcs. White roses framed the stage. Everything was in place for a moment that should have been pure. But Taylor Swift wasn't sure what was real anymore. The wedding was just hours away, but her mind was drowning in doubt, not because of Travis. Because of everything else. Joe's creeping campaign. The anonymous Instagram account. The mysterious legal threat. And worst of all, the public engagement proposal. That document haunted her. A strategy pitch. An algorithm of love. A romance written in branding buzzwords. It felt like someone had tried to turn her most sacred feelings into a Q4 marketing plan. And even though her heart told her Travis was innocent, her mind couldn't stop playing the what-if game. Meanwhile, Travis stood in the Chiefs' locker room, straightening his tie in front of the mirror. Jason Kelce leaned in the doorway. "You good, man?" Travis nodded. "Yeah. No." He laughed nervously. "I don't know." Jason walked in, sat down on the bench. "You love her?" "Yeah." "Then forget the rest. Everything else is noise." Travis looked at him. "But what if she thinks I'm part of it? What if she thinks I'm using her?" Jason raised an eyebrow. "Did you?" "No." "Then you show up. You stand on that field. And you marry the girl." Hours earlier, back in London. Joe Alwyn stood before a camera. Not for a film. Not for a photo shoot. For something else entirely. Bree stood behind the lens, holding up her phone. Joe's eyes burned with conviction. "To those who say I'm bitter, I say, you don't know what it's like to be erased." He paused. "She turned our story into lyrics. Into tours. Into profit. I never told my side. But I am now." Bree uploaded the video under a new alias and scheduled it to go live at exactly 6:55 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 minutes before the wedding. At 6:47 p.m., the guests were seated. No cameras. No phones. Just inner circle family and friends. Lana Del Rey sat on the aisle. Ed Sheeran tuned a guitar. Jason Kelce whispered jokes to Travis's mom. Taylor's father stared ahead with wet eyes. But Taylor wasn't there yet. She stood just beyond the stadium tunnel, dressed in cream silk and lace, bouquet trembling in her hands. Jack Antonoff was at her side. "You sure?" he asked softly. Taylor didn't answer. Then her phone buzzed. One notification. A YouTube link. She opened it. Joe Alwyn, the other side of the story. It had already hit 200,000 views in the first 2 minutes. She watched the first 15 seconds. Enough to know what it was. Jack saw her hands shaking. "Don't give him your day. He doesn't get to control how this ends." Taylor stared at the screen. Then she dropped the phone. It landed in the grass with a soft thud. She exhaled. "I'm getting married." She walked down the aisle. The strings swelled. Travis turned. Their eyes met, and time slowed. Everything else, Joe, the leaks, the pressure, the conspiracies fell away. This was real. Taylor took his hands. The officiant spoke, but she barely heard. She only heard Travis say, "I do." And then she said it too. But the drama wasn't over. The next morning, Taylor and Travis woke to chaos. Joe's video had gone viral, over 70 million views overnight. He alleged manipulation, heartbreak, and betrayal. Bree added voiceovers and out-of-context photos of Taylor and Travis looking scripted. Worse, some fans believed it. The media declared war. Is Swift's wedding a lie? Joe's truth versus Taylor's fairy tale. NFL romance or global PR move? Even people in Taylor's own circle started asking questions. And then came the leak. A low-res video, taken from a security camera, surfaced. Taylor and Travis, backstage before the ceremony, hugging tightly. But a voiceover had been added, fabricated, sounding like Taylor whispering. "We fooled them all, babe." It was clearly fake, but believable enough to fuel outrage. #SwiftScam trended for 3 days. Sponsors backed out. A major streaming service halted a documentary deal. NFL execs made calls. And Taylor, already overwhelmed from the past month, shut down. For days, she didn't leave her Nashville home. Travis stayed by her side, but even he struggled with the sudden fallout. "Maybe we should have waited," she said one night, curled up on the couch. "No," he replied. "We waited long enough." She turned to face him. "What if we never convince them it's real?" He leaned in. "Then let's stop trying to convince them." Taylor released no statement. No interview. No song. Instead, she posted a single photo on Instagram. A grainy, unfiltered shot of her and Travis on the field at night, her heels in one hand, his tux jacket slung over her shoulders, both of them laughing. The caption: "Not a fairy tale. Just love. No hashtags. No comments enabled." Within 10 minutes, 1.6 million likes. Still, the rumor mill churned. A blogger published an exposé claiming to have found emails between Taylor's management and Travis's agent. They were fake, but they went viral. Even as their wedding photos made headlines, some people refused to believe. And Taylor realized something. No matter how true a thing was, people would always question it if it didn't fit the story they wanted to tell. That night, she stood on her porch, barefoot, watching the stars. Travis came out, 2 mugs in hand. Hot chocolate, her favorite. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded. "Better than okay." Then she looked at him. "Let's go away." "Where?" "Somewhere no one cares who we are." The next day, their plane left for Iceland. No press. No photographers. No bodyguards. Just 2 people. No contracts. No stories. No more noise. Just love. Iceland was a different planet. No stadium lights. No paparazzi. Just glaciers, silence, and the rare gift of anonymity. For the first time in what felt like forever, Taylor Swift breathed without calculating the optics of each inhale. They rented a tiny cabin on the edge of a fjord, where the northern lights shimmered like stage lights softened by nature. Travis took to chopping wood and burning pancakes. Taylor found herself at the piano every morning, unshowered, barefoot, humming pieces of songs that never made it to albums. And for a while, there was peace. Back in the real world, the chaos began to cool. Joe Alwyn's video was eventually debunked by a series of leaks, one from Bree's own sister, who claimed Bree and Joe had orchestrated the entire campaign in a desperate bid for attention. The anonymous Instagram account was traced to a VPN used across multiple continents. It was, in the end, a coordinated attack, one meant to fracture a moment of joy. But it failed. Still, the damage had lingered. Taylor's public image was intact, but her trust in the machine of fame was irrevocably changed. She didn't blame Joe entirely. They'd been kids in their own way, pretending love could be simple when it was written in 1,000 chords and tabloids. One morning in Iceland, she sat on the cabin deck with her guitar. Travis watched her from inside, sipping coffee and thinking about how strange it all was, being in love with a woman the world had turned into a myth, yet knowing her so plainly. She played something soft, a waltz, something she hadn't recorded, maybe never would. He stepped outside. "Is that new?" She smiled. "It's for you. But no one else gets to hear it." "You're not putting it on an album?" She shook her head. "No." "Why?" She shrugged. "Because not every love has to be monetized." He looked at her. "That's the most anti-Swift thing you've ever said." She grinned. "I'm learning." Weeks passed. Taylor declined the Grammys. Travis skipped the NFL off-season training. They stayed in Iceland until their visas nearly expired. One night, as they huddled beneath a shared blanket, Travis said, "I don't care if people think this was fake. I just care that you never look at me and wonder." She kissed his forehead. "I've wondered a lot of things, Travis. But never you." Back in the States, whispers of a swift comeback swirled. Paparazzi caught sight of her in New York, entering Electric Lady Studios. Fans hoped it meant a new album, an Iceland era, but weeks passed, and no announcements came. Then one day, she posted a single image to her website. A plain white envelope. Sealed. Embossed with gold. Below it, 2 lines. "Some songs are only meant for one heart. This one will never be released." The fans were stunned. Was it a poem? A lost lyric? A wedding vow? No one knew. That was the point. Taylor and Travis settled in Nashville. Quietly. No reality show. No Spotify deals. They lived in a home with mismatched furniture and a mutt they adopted from a shelter in Kentucky. And Taylor, for the first time since she was 14, stopped writing for the world. She wrote for herself. For Travis. For silence. She still hummed in the kitchen, scribbled lines on napkins, tapped verses into her phone. But there was no need to share them. Not yet. Maybe never. Years later, a journalist interviewed her for a retrospective on her legacy. They asked, "Was there ever a song you couldn't bring yourself to share?" She paused. Smiled. "There's one." "What's it called?" She looked past the camera, out a window toward the trees. "It doesn't have a title. It's just ours." And somewhere, in a drawer locked beneath a quiet home in Tennessee, rests a single hand-labeled cassette tape. It contains the last song Taylor Swift ever wrote, one she recorded once, with no studio polish, no engineers, no producers. Just her voice, her guitar, and a man listening, just out of frame. A song no one gets to hear.